Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Business Studies in Vidhyaashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. Thank you so much for all your love, and yes, today I have brought one more topic for you which is very interesting and very easy to understand because you all know that your Abhilash sir gonna give all tricky things, that is ACT, that is Abhilash Chandra tricks. This topic which I'll be dealing, it's a 4-mark question in your board examination. One more topic I have, that is a 8-mark question in your examination. So please listen to this very carefully, and the topic for the day is, yes, it is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Students, Frederick Winslow Taylor is the father of scientific management. Please don't get confused with the father of general management and the father of scientific management. The father of scientific management is F.W. Taylor, called as Frederick Winslow. Please understand the spelling. Winslow Taylor. Now this person, he is an American. I will never use he was an American because these people are still present in the management textbook. That means they're always there in your commerce and management books. And what exactly it is? Frederick Winslow Taylor is also called as the father of industrial engineering. He was an engineer, students. He was what? He was an engineer, that too a mechanical engineer, but he has written a lot of books about management. Frederick Winslow Taylor was born on 20th March 1856. Please remember these dates because he is one of the pioneer of management. In the 19th and the 20th century, Frederick Winslow Taylor was so popular that each and everybody, whoever used to refer his books, they used to feel that at least once we need to meet this person and get the knowledge of management. But sadly, he died on 21st March. 20th March is his birth, 21st March is the death in the year 1925. This is a sad demise in the entire management world. But what is the contribution F.W. Taylor has given? That is his scientific principles. The scientific principles are exactly like your Henry Fayol 14 principle, but little more modification because you need to learn about what exactly management is if science is added. Then moving on, we have the scientific management. What do we have? We have the scientific management. Students, this is a 4 marks question. Scientific management. You will get a question, explain scientific management of F.W. Taylor, or you will get explain scientific management. The answer would be, you are supposed to write 4 scientific management. How much? 4 scientific management you are supposed to write. Firstly, we have science, not rule of thumb. Please don't get confused with the Fleming rule of thumb. This is not Fleming rule of thumb. This is Frederick Winslow Taylor's rule of thumb. He says that you need to go with science but not rule of thumb. What is rule of thumb? You need to understand this. Rule of thumb means it is your intuition. Always, I have told all of you that nature of management is broadly divided into 3. What are they? Just repeat, right? What are they? Art, science, and profession. Art means when you do it from your heart and then you go with it. That is your intuition. What am I supposed to do? When you go with that, that is management as an art. But science means you know cause and effect relationship. This is what he says. You need to go with management as science, but don't go with management as an art. Here where scientific techniques are used in management. I'll tell you more about science and not rule of thumb. That is, the next one is harmony, not discord. Harmony, not discord, in the sense there should be always a unity. There should always be what? Positivity in the company. If positivity is there in the company, everything is smoothly in a process. Managerial function will be very smooth. The way you cooperate, the way you coordinate, this is what will make more productivity in your business. That is what he says, that there should be harmony, but there should not be discord. Discord should not be there. Harmony should be there. Example I'll give you. In any of the business, the factory or industry, there is a person called manager. Who is that? Manager is there. Now this manager, what is that he should do? He is always like a bridge. He's always like a bridge. With whom? Who are the people where he is connecting? That is the employer and employee. He is a bridge for employer and employee. Here there should be harmony. That is, whatever the employee go for, whatever the demand of employee, the manager need to coordinate with the employer, and the employer need to give it to the employee, so that productivity is maintained. Flexibility should be there, student. That is what harmony and discord is. The next thing is, here we have, that is cooperation. Cooperation, not individualism. Cooperation but not individualism. This is where Henry Fayol and F.W. Taylor, they meet each other. That is, in Henry Fayol 14 principle, the last session where I told you there should not be selfishness. That is what he says. Cooperation should be there, but not individualism. You should not think only about yourself. You are supposed to think about your group. Once the group is getting more and more specialized work, the organization is developing. The organization is getting more profit. That is what he aims. That means don't be alone. It should be like I should be replaced with we. It is what? I should be replaced with we. That is what cooperation, not individualism, is what F.W. Taylor will explain it to you. The last one here is, yes, please read this particular thing. You will understand how beautifully F.W. Taylor has explained in the 19th century and the early 20th century. What exactly he has explained? There should be a development. What kind of a development? There should be a development of each and every employee to his greatest efficiency. That is what he says. Development of each and every person to his or her greatest. Please underline these kind of a thing. Greatest efficiency. That means one should know what his limits are. One should know sky is not a limit, and one should know that I can do better. That is what Frederick, Winslow, Taylor wants you people to know. That is development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. That means, yes, here you should not think about individualism. That means you are supposed to think about the group. Here he says, when you think about individualism, that is only positive way you are supposed to think. You shouldn't go with negativity. You should grow. You should grow, because once you grow, automatically everything becomes proper. This is what the scientific management of F.W. Taylor is all about. So there are four principles and 4 marks. The first is science, but not rule of thumb. What does the rule of thumb means? Rule of thumb is not Flamingo's rule. This is not science. The rule of thumb means you should not go with your intuition. Always, students, if you go with your intuitions, sometimes it clicks, but many times it go for a flop, because the situation is different. Situation is like contingent. Act according to situation. Sometimes your intuition will not help you to act according to situation, but always the science will help you to go with any kind of situation, because it is all about experimentation. It's all about perfection. It's all about cause and effect relationship. The next one is harmony. There should be what? Brotherhood, harmony, but not discord. The next one here is cooperation, but not individualism. That is what he says. There should be a cooperation, but not individualism. And the last one, he wants everybody to grow so that their greatest efficiency and prosperity will increase. These are the scientific principles of F.W. Taylor. Moving on, we have the next is, yes, nature. What is it? Nature. And the chapter name is what? Principles of management. So what are the nature of principles of management? Let me tell you. Principles of management, in the last session I told you, it is all about what? It is all about the guidelines. The guidelines which is there only for you to change your behavior. So this is what? The nature of principles of management is a 4 marks question. If you join BCom or BBA, this is a 10 marks question. If you go with MBA, it is a 20 marks question with a case study. So please understand the nature of principles of management. Here we have the first thing is called universal applicability. The first thing is universal applicability. That means everywhere it is used. Everywhere it is used. The next one is it gives general guidelines. That means what you should do and what you shouldn't do. If you do something, what is the effect? If you do nothing, what is the effect? Sometimes doing nothing is cool in business. That is what the general guidelines is all about. The next one is formed by. It is all about science, right? Formed by practice and experimentation. It is all about what? Principles of management. It is not general management. It is the principles of management. It is formed by practice and experimentation. That means once you do something, you get a result. Once you do something, you get a result. If you get a good result, do the same thing 1,000 times. But if you get something called negativity, don't do it. That is what Thomas Alva Edison also says that. When he started to invent something called the filament and the bulb, he went with more than 1,000 times. He failed in it. But when somebody asked him what exactly you did, you couldn't do it. For 1,000 times you were a flop show. Then he said that it is not like that. I got to know 1,000 times if I do it in a wrong way, I will not get filament or the bulb. That is what he went. That is called formed by practice and experimentation. Next thing is management should be flexible. Management should be flexible. Now I'll give you an example of this flexibility, what exactly it is. Please understand this. Okay, now this is not a game which I'll be playing with you people. Here you are supposed to understand what is it. There are something called employer in a business. Employer. You have employee. Whom do you have? Employee. Now employer and employee, there should be something called flexibility. What the employer tells the employee need to do it. He cannot say I will not do it. The same way, whatever the employee, now let me write here employee and there is employer relationship. Here employer is telling, now employee will tell the employer, sir, this is what I want. Again, there should be what? Flexibility. Now understand, wherever you go, there is a connection. There is a connection. There is a connection. In the same way, student, what exactly these are? What exactly these are? You need to know. There should be something called stability also. Every time flexibility will not go properly. That's why stability should also be there. That's why these are the stability thing. These are the flexible one. Only then management can grow. This is what is called flexible. Management should be flexible. The next thing is mainly behavioral. Mainly behavioral in the sense Principles of management will change anybody's behavior because it is all about code of conduct, it is all about ethics. That is what principles of management is. The way you start thinking in your college is totally different from the way you start thinking when you are working for somebody. Principles of management changes one's behavior. It can be positive as well as negative, but it only aims with a positive outcome because it has principles of management which is universally applicability. It's all about experimentation and cause and effect relationship. The next thing is, yes, as I said, it is all about cause and effect relationship. What exactly this cause and effect relationship is? Try to understand what is cause and effect relationship. When I started with the session, that is nature of management, there was this 3 topics. Management is an art, management is a science, and management is a profession. In the management of science, we have learned cause and effect relationship. If I do anything wrong, what will be the outcome? If I do something right, what will be the outcome? It is all because of a relationship. What kind of a relationship? Can I do business in a time where there is no demand, or should I do business when there is something called demand is more? This is called cause and effect relationship. Here you need to learn about micro business and macro business. What you are supposed to know? You need to know about micro business and macro business. Please don't get confused with MB and MB here. Micro business, right? Micro business and macro business. Micro business or the micro environment, that means I can control, but macro I cannot control. Why? Because it is all external. This is internal. The reason is it's all about cause and effect relationship. This is what the principles of management aims at. What you can control and what you will not control is what the principles of management will tell you properly. The last one is contingent. Guys, please understand this word contingent. That means act according to situation. I told you, every time your intuition will not work out. Every time you are supposed to go with scientific management. Only then you can act according to the situation so that you will get 100% result. You will get what? 100% result. But sometimes if you don't act according to the situation, you don't know how to control it. The reason is it's only about your intuition. Then you go for a flop show. But if you understand the scientific management, every time the contingent, that means uncertainty will be there. What is that? Uncertainty. Please understand there is a difference between risk and uncertainty. There is a difference between risk and uncertainty. Today in 21st century, take it from me, uncertainty is certain. Uncertainty is what? Certain. That means it will happen. Uncertainty is there in business. But if you use scientific management, you cannot avoid uncertainty, but you can minimize uncertainty. That's why it is called management is always contingent. That means you need to act according to situation. So these are the topics. Please remember all these things. If you remember all these points, students, it is very helpful for you people so that you will get centum in business studies. That is what I want. That means ACsir always expect centum. That is what? Your 100% results. If you want 100% result, stay tuned to our channel. Always subscribe and then comment, like, share. If you have any doubt, please ask me. Vidhyaashram and your ACsir is 24/7 only for you because we are student centric. Thank you so much and we will see you in the next session.